Here we're going to walk through the Rill Explorer from the point of view of the developer configuring the Explorer for end users. So I have an Explorer on the screen here, and what I mean by configure the Explorer is that all the work has been done for modeling the data in terms of the metrics layer, and now we don't have to do anything in terms of designing a layout. The Rill Explorer provides a pre-built layout so it's consistent and fast across all metrics layers that are made available. So as soon as you have your metrics defined, you can publish one of these more or less instantly. But what we want to do is choose things like which time ranges are we going to make available in the drop-down list to the user. And I'm going to build this up from scratch with a fresh Explorer. So I can see from the breadcrumbs at the top, this Explorer relies on the bids metrics view, and I'm just going to, in the left-hand panel, create a new dashboard. And if I flip into the code view of this, you can see how minimal it is. We've just got a display name, a metrics view, and we're using all dimensions and measures. That's all that we have in the code, and that produces this screen here. Now, the easiest way to add some configuration details to this to craft the experience that we want is actually to use the GUI on the right hand side. If that's not visible to you, you may need to open up the panel. And this and the code that configures the dashboard are perfectly in sync. In fact, if I go to the code view here, and let's say I don't want all of the measures, so I'm only going to pick a few of them, and you can see the code is updating there. Maybe I want to, rather than select things directly, maybe I just want to exclude certain fields. So let's say I want to take the advertiser domain and the creative type out. I could just exclude them from the display. And if I flip back to the graphical mode, we can see that the list of measures is being updated based on what's been provided. And there is the list of dimensions, no longer including the advertiser domain in this case. So these two things are perfectly in sync, the GUI panel and the underlying code. It's also fairly common to select certain time ranges. Like we would very often take out the longer range time ranges because of a focus on operational analytics, for instance. Maybe the previous year isn't relevant. I might choose my time zones. So there is a time zone picker, but maybe I would only want to expose, for instance, New York, London, and Paris. And as I make these changes, all the code is being updated as I go. I might want to choose a theme. And then I might also want to go into the GUI mode, choose which things I want visible. So select my measures, select a time range, let's say last 24 hours, and then save this dashboard as a default. So that the first time a user logs into this dashboard, they get this default view. And again, that's been saved into the code. So the Explorer in particular is a very lightweight piece of configuration. The idea is you don't want to, as a data team, spend a lot of time just building dashboards just to give people access to data. And as a user, you don't want to have a custom layout that you need to learn and get familiar with just to see your metrics. So this pre-built layout only takes a minimal amount of configuration and you're ready to go. And the advantage of having this done in code rather than in the UI is if you want to add in a new time range here. So for instance, I quite like 28 days. We often have people who ask for 30 days. So if I add that to the code, it's also being added into the drop down. You can see on the right, and that is available in the drop down there. So if you want to take advantage of things like our time syntax, you can do that in the code and have a lot of flexibility that you don't always get with UI-based tools. So that's the Explorer. I do recommend doing most of your work, or at least getting familiar with the options using the panel on the right hand side. But then once you're up and running, copy and pasting code between files, between projects, having access to the raw code itself is particularly useful.